Persona 5, one of my favorite video games of all time. I remember going out and getting this game last year on launch day, April 4th, 2017 to be exact. And let me tell you, the journey to, yeah, getting Persona 5 was quite a journey on its own. So let me back up to April, no, not April, late March of 2017. What happened was that what happened was spring break was starting, and I had already made plans to head to my dad's house in DC. And what's really crazy is that these past two episodes have been me just staying at my dad's house, which is really crazy. I'll try to find some other story that's not in DC in my own states. So, anyways, what happened was I remembered that Persona 5 was going to be coming out on April, so in April 4th. So what happened was I made extensive plans to go and get this game because, well, at the time I didn't have a driver's license, and so not only that, but I also had my dad and stepmom's bike, so I had that. I like to travel around their little neighborhood in DC. So, anyways, I made some extensive planning. What I did was I first off I went on Google Maps and I looked at how far it would be between me and in Bethesda. If you live in Bethesda, you know this mall. The between me and the Westfield Montgomery Mall. If you live in Bethesda, you know where that mall is. It's a pretty nice mall. It's Google Maps says for if you're biking, it's going to take what 50. I think it said 59 minutes or 57. I forgot. We're gonna go with 57 minutes. So, anyways, it was gonna take me at least 57 minutes to get there by bike, and I thought that it was still worth it because there was no way in hell I was gonna miss this game. So what I did, I also made extensive planning on how I was going to get there. Secondly, I also had to make plans on what if something goes wrong, which there were because at the time I've never biked this far outside of my dad's apartment. Really, the farthest I've ever at the time I've the farthest I've ever biked was to Tenleytown, which is like a pretty hilly. It's a bit of a hilly neighborhood in DC. But it's like right around the corner from, well, not right around the corner, but it takes quite a few minutes to get there by bicycle, especially, or if you're walking. so, anyways, I got my plans together. But anyways, I always thought that something was going to go wrong because, because the bikes, they were kind of messed up at the time too. So I expect, so I had like a backup plan, which my backup plan wasn't anything special. It was just to walk all the way back, which probably would have taken even longer than the time it would have taken me to get to wherever stuff went wrong. But that, yeah. And I also had to account for food and drink because this was a 57-minute trip, and I've never, like I said, at the time I had never done anything like that. I'd never biked that far from my dad's house in a city like DC. So so I keep saying what happened. I'm sorry. I have a nasty habit of saying that. Anyways, after that, the plans were made. So I wait a couple weeks, and let me tell you, that was the longest. That was the longest couple of weeks I've ever been through, man. I had everything planned out. I knew I got the Google Maps thing planned out. I got my quote unquote backup plan planned out. So I had the little food and drink thing under control. So for the next 2 weeks, I was good. This plan could not fail. So anyway, I arrived there on I think April 2nd or 1st. I think it was April 1st. Let me tell you, longest 3 days of my life as well, man. I was getting impatient with every day that passed. I was getting more and more impatient because I was like, I got to get my hands on this game. Then 3 days finally passed. It's April 4th. I forgot the exact day it was. Um, I know it was a weekday. Not, anyways, April 4th comes by. Now I get now the mall, I think it opened at 10 p.m. Not 10 p.m. Not 10 p.m. That's nighttime. I think the mall opened at 10 a.m. And what happened was, all right. So my plan was to wait for. I mean, not wait for. My plan was to wake up at 9 o'clock, get dressed, take a shower, do all my my personal hygiene, and everything, brush my teeth. It was to get dressed, then get the bikes ready, and get the bikes ready, and then get my food and my snacks ready. So Then I'd say then at 9:15 I set out. No, not 9:15. It was 9:25 at the when I set out. So at 9:25 I set out, and let me tell you, this was real. As I was biking, man, I was getting really, really nervous. Because I didn't know what I was going to run into. Well, not run into. I didn't know what was going to happen because there were millions upon millions of things that could have gone wrong. And I'm on a bicycle with I don't know. So, anyways, I'm biking there. I also take the Capitol Crescent Trail. If you Not only that, but if you live in downtown Bethesda, you know that's like the go-to trail. That's like the go-to jogging trail. So yeah, nice place. Sorry, I lost. Hold on. Okay. All right. All right. Let's re-roll. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry about that little cut, ladies and gentlemen. My family called me down to eat dinner, so please excuse that little cut. Anyways, where was I? So, anyways, on my way to the mall, it was pretty cold in the morning. Um, I don't know how I forgot how many degrees it was. I'd say it was about 60 degrees or the early 70s, but it was cold. And then as time went on, as I got like progressively as I got to I'd say I think by the time I got to the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, which is positioned next to a little highway, or I think it's a highway. That's when it started getting warmer, and I was wearing a hoodie at the time, so I like wrapped my hoodie around my waist and kept pedaling on my bike. Uh, so yeah, and then it got full on. Then it got full on warm, like I'd say in the 70s. So that's when like the temperature started being average, and it got too hot for me to keep that hoodie on. So yeah. Anyways, what else? I was also trying my best to not use up too much data because if I didn't have data on my phone, because if I didn't have enough data, then I couldn't use Google Maps. Well, if I didn't have data at all, then I couldn't use Google Maps. And if I can't use Google Maps, there's no way I'm getting home. And it's like an hour-long bike ride to the Westfield Montgomery Mall from my dad's house. So yeah, this was um, I wouldn't say it was an all or nothing trip, but yeah. Sorry about that. So, anyways, I make it to the mall, and there's once I think it was 10 o'clock by the time I got well way past 10 o'clock. I'd say maybe around 10. I looked at my clock. It said 10:10, but anyways, I got there, and despite it being 10:10, lots of people were filled up in the mall, despite it being a weekday, which took me back a bit. But then I remembered that this is Bethesda, and large cities tend to have lots of people in public areas. So I guess that's why. So, anyways, this is my first time ever at this mall. I don't know what this mall is like, so I get lost so many times trying to find the GameStop, and I eventually give up. And what happened was Verizon, they had this little kiosk, and I went and asked the lady where the GameStop was. She said that I had to like turn a corner too. Oh yeah, and another thing, I also had on my way to the GameStop, I was also I on my way to the GameStop. I was trying to film this like impromptu video of me like getting Persona 5. However, I'm in the middle of recording the video. I realized that I needed to save my battery so I could save my phone battery so I could get back home, without my phone dying. I also bought my phone charger just in case that happened. But still, I'd rather not sit. Yeah, I'd rather not sit stranded in a mall when I don't know how to get home. That's no, never. So, anyways, I realized that the camera would drain my battery, so I cut the video off. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I actually still have the video saved onto my Google's cloud, so I can actually show it to you guys. Please enjoy. Fortunately, I couldn't download the video from my Google Cloud or whatever, so it was just me. But to summarize, the video was just of me saying, "Hey guys, I'm going to GameStop to pick up Persona 5. I'm just a few feet away from it because I was actually walking towards the GameStop as I was making the video, and and then I realized, oh crap, I better cut this off because I don't want to waste battery. But still, So yeah, I went in and got the Steelbook edition. This was the edition you would get at launch day, which it looks pretty nice. I love the artwork. Let me take it out and show it up. Yeah, I really love the artwork. This is one of my favorites. This is possibly my favorite Steelbook of all time. I mean, just look at all this. This is beautiful. And I think a couple days later, or a day later, I forgot. On YouTube, I made a video about Atlas about Atlas blocking recording and screenshots of Persona 5, which I'll leave a link to down in the description if you want to watch it. It's kind of an old video. To this day, Atlas is still restricting video recording and screenshots on Persona 5, even though it's been a year later. But still, hey, whatever. So getting home, getting home was just the most nerve-wracking thing ever. Not because I was scared of like screwing myself over and getting stranded, but it was nerve-wracking because I was so excited to play Persona 5. Have you ever been like, remember when you were a kid and every now and then like getting a game was like just the most magical thing ever? I remember getting games for my PS. Sorry about that. Spit came out. I remember getting games for my PlayStation 2 back then, and I would be so excited that I couldn't contain myself, and I just read the manual just to hold myself over. Oh man, I love reading all the character bios, the little story summary that's at the start of most manuals. Sadly, not enough video games do this anymore. Not many, there are, as a matter of fact, very few current gen games ever do have manuals. One of the only current gen games I know that have manuals are the Guilty Gear games, and that really sucks because I miss manuals a lot. They had all this crazy artwork. Another thing I love about video game manuals is when they advertise little collectible figures or stuff, where they'd advertise their little website or little fan clubs you can join. That was pretty nice. I also loved how they advertise like. I remember I have a copy. I have a copy of Naruto. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Yeah, I have a copy of Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles. The manual had like all their little collectibles. You all know what I'm talking about. Sorry, sorry for getting off track, but still, so on my way. The point is, on my way back home, the ride was just. I was so excited I couldn't contain myself, man. Not only that, but I was pedaling faster than I could ever imagine too. It was crazy. It was hilarious. It was fun. And I had fun on my trip too. I also tried to make sure I didn't use my texting apps as much, which was I guess the texting apps were Kik and WhatsApp because, like I said, I didn't want to use up data as well. And you know what? I think. Oh no, that's not the end of the story. But as soon as I get home, what happens is that minutes after I like put the bike back in my dad's room, because that's where he likes to keep. I mean, not likes to, but that's where he keeps the bikes most of the time. As soon as I put the bike back in my dad's room, what happens is I pull out my phone and I take a picture of the box I take a picture of the box and I post it on my Instagram, which it's still up there by the way. If, I got links to that in the description, or or this is just another way of just plugging my Instagram without being so direct. But hey, follow it if you want. It's link in the description. So yeah, I get up. So anyways, I put the game in the PS4 and it's go time, man. And oh my god, man. So the rest of the week I spend all of my time playing Persona 5. No other game made it into that PS4. Just Persona 5, nothing else. Also, I did another big bike trip. That was like way out there. It wasn't. It was like as far as Westfield Montgomery Mall, but it wasn't in the same place. It was a mall called it was a mall in an area called Westfield Wheaton. Anyone in Bethesda, you may know that area. Um, but yeah, I went and picked up Project Crosstone for the 3DS because my other copy of Project Crosstone was missing, so I decided to just go up there and get it. And I decided it was well worth the bike trip because Crosstone is a fun game, and I was mad that my copy of Crosstone just went missing out of nowhere. Kind of suck. I know it kind of sucks when 3DS games that you've been putting so many hours into go missing. But hey, so yeah, that's it about my trip to get Persona 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time video. I'd love to see what you guys think. Thanks for watching.